Welcome to Spiritual Changemakers, the podcast that guides you through tough times with practical tools and inspiring stories. I'm Andreea Tamas, your host and the Sacred Transitions Coach. Join us as we hear from spiritual changemakers who have connected with their higher power and overcame adversity. Whether you are navigating a difficult transition or seeking to deepen your spiritual practice, our podcast provides guidance to help you find magic in the change. Come on this journey of self-discovery, empowerment, and transformation with us and unlock your potential to become your best self. Hello, my beautiful souls, and welcome to a new podcast episode on Spiritual Change Makers. I'm so excited because today I have a very dear friend of mine. We know each other for, oh my gosh, how many years now, Michael?
Right, since 2020, probably, right? So
Yeah, I think even earlier than that, because I know in 2019, it's when I joined the John Maxwell.
And I joined in 19 as well, so around the same time.
Around that time. So we know each other for quite a few years. We've had our times of being closer and supporting each other. I think we even did a mastermind together.
Yeah, our first mastermind ever. First Maxwell mastermind together. Yeah.
Yes. So we have a history. And I'm super excited to have witnessed Michael's growth since then until now. I can tell you it's exponential. And you guys really want to check him out because one of the things that has always stood out for me with Michael is his service to others. And he always is there to serve, and not just that, but over deliver. So I would say those are two of your traits that have stood out for me, Michael, throughout this journey. And really seeing you go for it. You just you went for it. You wanted to become a speaker, a professional speaker. And I've seen you just growing and growing and now speaking on big stages with big names and just making that your full-time profession, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And loving every bit of it.
Yes. And not just that, but Michael wrote a book that we are going to go a little bit deeper into it because as I just shared with you right now, Michael has been able in these just few years now to achieve a lot. And not just that, but also having a family. And how many children you have, Michael?
So my wife and I have 3 sons. We have an 18-year-old, 17-year-old, and a 12-year-old.
Wow. So having a family, having 3 children, a wife, and for the longest time, I don't know right now, but you tell us, for the longest time, you also had a full-time job.
Yes. And I actually still do, right? So I still work a full-time job, believe it or not. And I run a full-time business.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's admirable to have a full-time job, a family with kids, and building your speaking business mainly, and writing a book. Tell me, how the heck were you able to achieve all of this, because you hear people going either deeper in one area, but then they broke down in other areas. Let's say they go full on career, but then they've ruined their family. And then there is this belief going on that we cannot have it all at once. And you are the proof that is showing us right now that, yes, you can. And I want to hear how.
Yes. And it all starts with being a doer, right? And for me, and so first off, I'm so happy to be here. I love you. I love your growth. So I've seen you travel all around the world, impact people, and really live out your passion for helping people. So that's so wonderful to see.
Thank you.
And so my journey is, I've learned how to be productive. And really, that's what the book is all about. It's about how to be productive, how to get past those things that are holding people back. Because so many people, they don't take action. There's people who, they spend so much time thinking about it, trying to make it perfect and all of that, versus taking action, even if it's messy action, right? Just take that action, get a result, and then improve the result.
Okay. So it starts with just starting.
Yeah, exactly, right? You just
Just
start,
starting.
right? When you want to launch your podcast, you just started. I
Oh my
guarantee
God.
you, your first episode is not as good as this episode is going to be, right? And this
Yes.
episode isn't going to be your best episode because you're going to do one, next week. It's going to be even better, right? Because you can keep learning. That's just how
Yeah.
things work.
So tell us a little bit about your journey,
Yeah.
and how were you able to overcome those fears, the perfectionism, and overthinking but not taking action?
Yeah, and I struggle with all of them, which is kind of why this is the book Doers Win the Day, and I actually talk about some of those mistakes, right? So one of those that you just mentioned was and let me find the page here, was just talking about that perfection, right? So chapter 1 is the hesitation trap, waiting for the perfect time. And that was me. For years, I'm a natural perfectionist, and I would wait to have something perfect. Like I wouldn't tell people about my website until I thought it was perfect. Or if I developed my background is in IT, so developing software, I wouldn't show someone unless I thought it was perfect. And that held me back for so many years. And so I finally had to realize that, it doesn't need to be perfect. Done is better than perfect. And in the book, I talk about why it's a mistake of waiting, right? So the biggest thing is you get good at waiting and you get consistent at doubting. And that's what a lot of people are. You're so consistent at doubting yourself to the point where I know for me, I wouldn't speak up, or I would wait for other people to validate my decision in my head, for them to tell me, oh, it's a good idea. Then I would take action.
Validation. So you would wait for external validation in order for you to act.
Yeah, so I might send somebody an email, hey, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about that? Right? And instead of me just knowing in my gut that, yes, this is the right thing. And it may not align with the person that I'm asking their opinion of. They may not get it because they're not in my head. So I can't wait for their validation.
So why would you tell people that struggle with perfectionism right now? Yeah. And they are like, I don't know if it's good enough, and doing that, waiting for validation from others. What to do to break through that?
Yeah. So here are my doer steps for people who are waiting on that validation, that perfection, right? So D is discipline. I encourage you set a 15-minute timer and take one imperfect step towards your goal. Right? Like I said, imperfect. So just remember, right? Like it's not going to be a perfect step. Just take one imperfect step. Take some type of action towards that goal. Don't plan it. Just do it. And once you do it, you can look at it and evaluate it. Right? So that's the first thing is do that. Then with the O in doer stands for one thing. So identify the one task that you've been hesitating on the most. Like there's some people who, we think about the podcast, there are some people who have recorded videos, but they haven't released them yet because they're trying to edit the podcast to make it perfect, and they're listening to it over and over and spending all this hours doing it, right? Like stop hesitating, just publish it. It might not be perfect. You might not get as many likes as you like, so what, right? It's like, just put it out there. E is for eliminate excuses. So write down the most common excuse that you're giving yourself of why you're delaying, why you're waiting on that perfect, or why you feel like it's not perfect, right? Like a lot of us will look at ourselves in a mirror and we'll start seeing all the imperfections versus saying, okay, yeah, we're perfect just the way we are. So write that down and eliminate those excuses. Then R is for responsibility for your action and your attitude. So this is where you change your mindset of, I don't need to be perfect. I need progress. I choose to be a doer no matter what. So you're just changing that mindset, and then you're taking that imperfect action, focus on this one thing at a time, right? Eliminate the excuses, and you will become a doer.
Amazing. And I love these steps because they are also simple, simple to implement, creates the momentum, because that's what we desire. Now, when we start doing something, and especially when it's something big that we are afraid of, we want to start building that momentum. So by just creating that discipline that you said for 15 minutes. You can put 15 minutes in your calendar and then go through the process that Michael shares. So D is discipline.
Yes.
O
Just one
is
thing.
one thing.
E.
R,
E.
E
Eliminate
is
excuses.
eliminate excuses. And R to take responsibility.
Yeah, responsibility for your attitude and your actions.
Your
So what,
attitude on your action.
so how you
So,
think and what you do.
yes, so good. So this is where it puts you back in the driving seat. Because you cannot, you cannot blame anymore that, oh, it's because of him, because of that, like blaming other people or the circumstances.
You're responsible.
Mm-hmm.
You're in control.
And
like I said, you're in the driver's seat. So you can go as fast as you want to go, as slow as you want to go, but it's all up to you.
yeah, I love this so much, Michael. And I see how this can have such a big impact, you know, for people that struggle right now with the perfectionism, because this is one of the mistakes that you said people do, or one of the habits. How do we want to call it? You said it's a mistake?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
One of the mistakes that people have when they're about to create a shift, to create a change, to go towards something that they want and desire.
Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, I got to have the perfect plan before I go take action.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I know before we started the podcast, you mentioned that there are in total in your book 10 mistakes.
Yes.
And okay, we have the perfectionism. And tell me, which one are the others that you have seen working with clients throughout the years and that you have experienced that are the most common ones that is like, oh my gosh, like those really hold people back?
Yeah. So another big one is multitasking.
Multitasking.
There's a lot of people who they hear about productivity and like, oh, okay, and then they feel like they can do everything at once. And that's a big mistake, because you started feeling overwhelmed because you're like, man, I've got so much to do. Well, that's your fault, right? Because you've given yourself so much to do. Versus if you can narrow it down, okay, what's the most important thing to do? So in the book, I talk about winning the day, and the best way to win the day. So really, the best way for me to win tomorrow, which is Thursday, the best way for me to win tomorrow is for me to plan my day tonight. So before I go to bed, write down, okay, what are the 3 things that I want to win with tomorrow, that I want to accomplish tomorrow? Put those on a piece of paper, and as I sleep, my mind is thinking through ideas. I wake up in the morning, I already have a plan in place of what I'm going to do to win. And it makes it so much easier versus me getting overwhelmed by trying to multitask and do so much that it's too much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you definitely, I would say you can definitely talk to that from your experience with people. Yeah, because it's not multitasking, but you had multiple big projects at once. Yes, like with your job, with your family, with the speaking career. So you had multiple lines at once going throughout in your life. So I want to hear, how did you manage to be present and be efficient and productive in all of them?
Yeah, so it's all about having a plan. Okay, for my work, for my day job, this is what I need to accomplish today, right? So I might have a list of it somewhere. I've got a list. For my business, this is what I need to do, and I may have some flexibility built in. But the benefit of having some sort of plan is that I don't just let other people just take my time or dictate my time. Like I'm in control of it, so it allows me to be productive. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. They're like, how are you able to, you're speaking in all these different places, but yet you still have a full-time job. How are you able to manage that plus everything else? And I'm like, well, it's because I've got a plan for it. I've got it scheduled. And I know what I need to accomplish over here. I know what I need to accomplish over here, but I'm not confused. I think so many people, because they wake up without a plan, they look at social media, and social media becomes a part of their plan. What other people are doing. They play the comparison game. Versus if you've got a plan and okay, if I know that part of my plan is making 10 phone calls whether it's client calls, proposal calls, or something. If that's my plan, then I make sure that I do that before I allow other types of interruptions in the way.
Yeah. Okay. And what comes up for me as I hear that, because I've done it several times where I'm like, okay, I'm going to write down, I'm going to do this and this and this, and then I come to the end of the day and I did none.
You probably had too many things on the list. That's the thing.
So what happens when, okay, you know what to do, you write those things down, but then the resistance comes up to actually do it because maybe it is too big, it is too scary. And not just that, but maybe I'm like, I'm thinking that I'm not going to do it good enough, the perfectionism. And then the resistance comes and I take the resistance as a sign that I should not do it. And if I feel resistance, means I should not do it. Yeah, because if it's meant for me, this is something I heard a lot. If it's meant for me to do it, it should feel easy.
And see, that's where the discipline comes in. So the definition of discipline that I use in the book is discipline is doing the prescribed activity no matter what, even and especially when it's difficult. And sometimes it's going to be difficult, right? And it's not going to be easy. Even if it's the right thing for you to do.
Why is that? Why is it difficult?
Because growth happens because of resistance, right? If I want to grow my muscles, I've got to resist. If I'm lifting easy weight, I'm not going to grow, right? So there's got to be some resistance. If you're doing anything, if you're trying to become a faster runner or something, you've got to run till you get to that point where you're getting tired, and then you keep improving, right? It's going to hit some resistance. It's not just going to be easy. Life is easy. That's a lie that we tell ourselves that it is supposed to be easy.
It should be easy, yeah.
No one who's succeeding at anything has it easy. Like you look at people who have done great things, they've all had to work hard. We just don't see it. We don't see their hard work. We don't see the tears and the disappointments that they're facing. They show up. Even like you take movie stars and actors, right? You see them perform, but you don't see all the rejection letters, all the different auditions they went to, and people said, "No, we hate you. You suck." Right? It's like we don't see all that because no one writes social media posts about, "Oh, I got turned down 5 times a day," or
Yeah, I was just told another no.
Yeah. I tried to sell my song and they all booed me off stage. Like no one tells you that stuff.
Yeah, and because of that, we have this false perception that we take off social media, where we see other people succeeding and we're like, oh, but they have it so easy. How easy that for me it's so hard. And what I hear you saying, Michael, is to pretty much that resistance when we are growing and doing something new that is inevitable. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where responsibility comes in, right? So when you got responsibility of your attitude, then you're not affected by what you see other people doing, right? You're able to stay positive and optimistic because you're in control of that. And then you're taking responsibility for your actions, so you're controlling exactly what you do. You're not looking at what other people do. Like, this person ran 10 miles. Okay, well, I can only do 1, so let me focus on that, right? There's no comparison.
And one thing I've learned is truly to compare yourself with how you did the day before or with your older version, but not with other people. Because that's an illusion, comparing yourself with other people.
Right, it's an illusion. And then also, even comparing yourself to your past self, that can be a risk.
Okay, tell me why.
Because sometimes you might have been better in the past, right? You might have been like, I know for me, I can't say, well, okay, when I was 20 years old, I was able to do X number of push-ups and all this. True. If I try to compare myself with that version of me, then I'm not going to do well in certain areas. There's areas where I'm going to do better, but I have to be careful with that.
Okay.
So we have to be very careful about the comparison game and just focus on getting better.
Yeah, and as we were talking when we had our connection call, that I was like, Michael, tell me, help me how to become a professional speaker. Because I'm on that path on going more serious towards that. And by the way, I'm doing 2 speakings this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the thing that I was hearing, it's like this thing of like also just being better a little bit, no?
Mm-hmm.
And I understand now from what you shared that it's actually eliminate comparison. Doesn't matter if it's with you or others. And I love that because honestly, I used to use this quite a bit of comparing myself with my old self. You know, I'm like, the only thing I'm allowed to compare it's with my old self, and that's it, you know? But it's so true what you just shared right now. Because it's a risk doing that too, because our shape, our age, our circumstances,
Exactly.
and so on, they were different in the past than how they are now. So it's like eliminate comparison. Period.
Yeah. Because I run into so many coaches who they transitioned out of corporate America. So they went from corporate America making a nice 6-figure income, a very comfortable job. They were in a leadership position, and now they're an entrepreneur, and they're trying to remember. They're trying to compare themselves with their old self. They're like, "Oh yeah, I used to lead these teams." And that's not you. That's not your situation right now, right? So that's why you got to start from where you are and keep moving forward.
I love that. So not even like thinking so much or focusing on the past, but really looking where I am now in this moment and keeping your focus on where do I want to go.
Yeah, and that's how a
And that's
GPS
it.
works. That's how a GPS in your car works. Like your GPS, you don't look at the history in your GPS. You say, okay, this is where I'm at. This is where I want to go. What do I need to learn? What do I need to do?
That's so true. Wow. So act like your GPS, okay? Focusing on the now and where you want to go, and then keep that direction with the discipline.
Yes.
By taking full responsibility of your thoughts, no, of your mindset and actions. And that's the formula that Michael is sharing with us
Very
here.
simple. Very simple.
For you to win.
I even put it on my water bottle, right? Just to remind myself when I'm drinking, right? So I can see the discipline.
Ooh, I love it. Oh my gosh, I'm definitely gonna take that on. I'm gonna implement it with myself, and I'm sure I'm gonna implement it with my clients too, because it's so good. So good. So we had the first mistake, yeah, that people usually do, the perfectionism. Then the second one was
What did I use? Oh, multitasking. The second one was
multitasking. I was like, yeah, I was thinking as well, like, which one was it? Not multitasking per task. Yeah, you can have multiple focuses in your life, as Michael has been having as well. And I would say we all do, because we are human beings. We don't just have one thing going on at the time and in our life, and that's it. We are holistic beings with multiple things going. So multitasking and how to win that is by winning the day.
Yes, yep. Pick that one. And right, really, it's focusing on the one, really on the one thing. So yeah, so maybe I've got 10 things on my plate, but right now in this moment, what's the one thing I need to focus on? Right. So you want to focus on one thing at a time.
For you to look at winning the day.
Yep.
So looking at where I am now and where I'm going by winning the day.
Yes.
Amazing. And what is the third biggest mistake that you see people making?
Probably, okay, so I'll say one would be in chapter 5, I talk about silence the inner critic, rewriting your mental script. And so the mistake is negative self-talk. And for me, that was one of the things that I really had to get over, because I'm a natural introvert and I wouldn't talk. So I would always be quiet, but I would be having these thoughts in my mind, but they were always negative thoughts of, well, I probably can't do that, or what if this happened, right? So that negative self-talk. So in the book, I talk about how that is a mistake that people have, and how you need to replace that negative self-talk with positive affirmation. So I'm really big on using positive affirmations. I mean, I got some affirmations in the book for people to read, but I know for me, because I had a low self-image and I struggled with that negative self-talk, doing exercise like the mirror technique, where I'll literally look at myself eye to eye in the mirror and I'll say, Michael, I love you. You are amazing. You're going to do great things today. Today, you're going to win today. And I would say positive self-talk to myself to the point when, even when I'm not speaking out loud, I'm repeating those positive words in my mind. And that keeps me focused. And it kind of quiets out the critics that normally would be chattering in my ear. I don't hear them because I hear the positive words over and over and over.
I love it. And I love that you combine it with mirror work, because when you also look into your eyes, into the mirror, it's just something so powerful. No, it's looking into your soul. That's what the eyes do. And what was coming up as you were sharing this is like, how long did it take you to rewrite that negative self-talk and self-perception?
It's an ongoing thing, right? So it's something that I have to do.
So it's still going?
Yeah, I mean, they creep in every once in a while. However, like I've even been, okay, so I'll give you an example. I had an opportunity where I'm about to go speak on stage. Les Brown just came off stage. And so we were in the back room, we're in the back room talking and all that type of stuff. And so for a brief moment, the negative chatter came and said, hey, they just heard Les Brown. What are they going to think about hearing you on the same stage as him? It was like type of thing. So you hear that little chatter, but I had to quickly quiet that and say, no, I've earned my spot here. I deserve to be here. Right. And so it does come up, but you just have to know how to capture that thought, replace it, with some positive words.
So doing it in the moment, in that time, not feeding it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, because this takes me also to this idea of like, we do all of these different modalities and coaching and healing and so on. And we expect that, okay, and I had that false illusion at the beginning as well, when I started on this path, that I'm going to do all of these different sessions and healing and energy and blah, blah. And that's it. I'm going to be healed. Or, the shift is going to be forever. And then I had this like big drop into my face that, wait, actually, there are some shifts, but the work is ongoing. So it's not stopping, no? It's keep going.
Right. And it gets smaller and smaller. I think as you keep working on it, that part of it is going to get smaller and smaller, where it's like, but it's still going to hit you at times. I know, like one of my mentors, Justin McClendon III, he was very close with Malcolm Jamal Warner. And we did and so Malcolm Jamal Warner just passed unexpectedly at 54. He drowned. And we had let's see, what's the day? Today is Wednesday. I think it was on Monday, or maybe it was last week. Or I can't remember when it was. The days are all running together. But we had an event where so this last week, we had an event and he had to speak, and they showed pictures of Malcolm Jamal. And so for a brief moment, like he felt that emotional attachment because of his relationship with Malcolm, because we were doing a little tribute. But he quickly, he reset himself and he was able to talk. And he kind of talked through like what went in his head. And even though he felt the negative emotions about it, the sadness, the grief, he still knew how to like flip the switch, focus on the positive in the positive moment there. And it doesn't make the grief go away, right? And it doesn't minimize the grief per se. However, he knew what his role needed to be. So he was able to flip the switch and focus on the moment.
Yeah, and it's pretty much learning how to move forward with whatever life throws at you, no?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
sometimes it can be tough, right? It can be tough depending on what happens, right? I know you have some situations happen to you, right, in your life. I mean, it's like things happen, and at some point, we've got to move forward.
Yeah, and it's truly not expecting that things are gonna just be smooth and easy. And this is another thing, how it's like, expect that resistance is gonna show up no matter what. It's also one of my mentors was saying, also expect that challenges and problems are gonna arise.
Yeah.
Like when you do something, because it's just part of the equation, of like building something, of doing a project, that's the thing. You're gonna have challenges and problems.
Mm-hmm. And you just got to be prepared for them as best you can, right? You can't be prepared for everything. However, if I
Yeah.
know that there's an 80% chance of rain and I'm going for a long walk, then I'm going to have an umbrella. And so even if it's raining, if I've got my umbrella up, it's protecting me from the rain. I might get it wet a
Yeah.
little bit, but not as much as if I didn't have the umbrella. And so that's kind of what doing like the affirmations and things, it helps put an umbrella around you, around your mind to protect you. You might get wet a little bit, but it's still going to like keep you mostly dry and protected.
I love that metaphor because it helps me have like this visualization in my head. It's like, oh yeah, like with my affirmations, I'm putting this umbrella and protecting from the inner critic. No,
Yeah.
amazing. So far we discussed about perfectionism, multitasking, and the inner critic, and
Yeah.
how to shift out of that. And tell us, Michael, I know you have mainly this like the 10 mistakes, and I highly encourage you guys for the rest of them to go and purchase Michael's book.
Yeah.
And as you hear, even in this podcast, it's so much gold in it. And I'm so excited to read it and so excited to implement and apply what you shared with us. So thank you so much. And tell us what else is in this book that people are like, oh yeah, I want to go and read it.
So I have a bonus chapter as well. So let me see, where is that bonus chapter at? Actually, I added 2 bonus chapters to the book. One is an affirmation, and so I'll come back to that. But one is a future pace exercise. So it's the doer's vision. And so what it is it takes you through a couple different steps of really future pacing, or really outlining your future self type of thing. And so like the first thing is, setting the scene, so the time and the place, and thinking 6 months from the day. So that's the first part of it. There's some exercise with that. Like, so that's part of step 1. Step 2 is thinking about what you have achieved. So thinking 6 months in the future, what have you achieved? Then getting into the sensory description of see it, hear it, feel it. So going through that process. So step 4 is what did you have to become? So you're getting a good understanding of, okay, what does your identity really need to look like to achieve that goal? So that's kind of what that exercise is. Then step 5 is all about anchoring it with a phrase or mantra that you're using. Yeah. So I got those as one of the bonus chapters. And then another bonus chapter in the book is I'm a doer, I win the day affirmation. And so I'm going to read that to you here. Okay, so,
Yes.
I'm a doer. I don't wait for perfect. I take purposeful action. I rise with discipline, focused on what matters most. I choose one thing and give it my best. I silence distractions and excuses. I take responsibility for my habits, my attitude, and my impact. I move with clarity. I lead with courage. I grow with intention. I don't just plan the day, I win the day. One decision, one habit, one win at a time. Because I'm not just dreaming, I'm doing, and that's why I win.
Woo! I feel so pumped up now. Let's win the day.
Yes.
Wow, amazing. Thank you for sharing. I really love that. It's like, I feel like I'm gonna make it as an affirmation on my phone and like play it and be like, start my day with this.
Yeah, I love reading because it's like it fires me up too.
Yeah, and it's the book sounds amazing, but you also went on this path, Michael, of speaking and becoming a professional speaker, which is, it's said that speaking, it's one of the biggest fears, that people fear that more than death.
I used to, and that was me years ago.
Yeah, so what helped you overcome that and now being a successful professional paid speaker.
Yeah. So for me, it was giving my first speech, knowing that I was, shaking and feeling terrified a little bit, and dealing with all those emotions, but still giving it, and then learning how to celebrate it. So I remember I had a mentor, Carol Cormelink, and after I gave my first speech, I was all nervous, and I sat down. And I was still shaking when I sat back in my seat, and she leaned over. She said, "Michael, great job, you did it." She said, "It's gonna get easier." And she said, this was in Toastmasters. She said, "We have a program here to help you be a more confident communicator." And the beauty of it was, so Carol, she was my friend, mentor for like 16 years,
Wow.
working with her in Toastmasters. Like I would help her with some things, she would help me out. And when she passed away in 1999, I remember her son, Mark, called me up and he asked me to do the eulogy at her funeral. So that was like the transformation that I had. I went from being a terrified speaker to someone that he would allow to speak on behalf of his mom in his packed
Oh,
church. And so that's the only eulogy I've ever given.
wow.
But I was honored to say yes to that and deliver that talk. But it just taught me, like I learned the value of seeking out coaches and mentors in the area that I want to grow in. And so for me, I have
Mm.
lots of coaches that I work with in speaking. People who understand the business of speaking, and people who understand how to tell stories, and how to monetize other parts of speaking and things. Like even
Mm.
the reason why I have a book is because my coach was like, you need to have a book that's in alignment with your speaking topic. I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Mm.
So I
Yeah.
did that. I mean, because this is my second book, and my first book started from a keynote speech, but it's not really the type of speech that I want to give to like corporations and other places. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I had to write another book that's more in alignment with what I do.
Yeah. And congratulations for
Thank you.
having your second book. And you
Thank you.
said something big there. You've been working with mentors and coaches ever since you have been on this journey. So, how important would you say that attributed to your success right now?
Oh, so important. Like, like I have a lot of people who ask me, like they'll see me part of like someone's coaching program or speaking program. They're like, "Why are you part of their organization? You're already speaking." I'm like, because I know that I need to grow, and I realize that. And I turned 51 this year, so I realized that I've used up more productive days than I have left, and so I know that every day needs to count. Which is right. I need to win every single day that I have on this earth, and I know I can grow faster with a coach or a mentor guiding me along the way. Which is why
Mm.
I've invested a lot of thousands upon thousands of dollars in coaching for that very reason, to help me go further faster.
Yeah, yeah. And if you could describe people, maybe they never worked with a coach, with a mentor. What does a coach do
Yeah.
for them and a mentor, and how that can propel their path forward?
Yeah. So for a coach, and I'll speak more to coaches because typically the way it works is you hire coaches. Mentors may be someone who you just have a relationship with, who in the mentoring you. But I've hired a lot of coaches for different areas of my business, and the way it typically works is I let them know what my goals are, and they let me know how they can help me achieve my goals. And they may give me direction of things to do. Right. So that's
Mm-hmm.
where that discipline comes in. So like discipline is doing the prescribed activity no matter what, even and especially when it's difficult. So if I'm working with a coach and the coach says, okay, Michael, if you want to speak on more stages, you need to make 3 phone calls a day or send out 5 proposals a week or something like that. Then part of me disciplining myself is going through that prescribed activities, right? Making the phone calls, sending out the proposals. That's my responsibility. But
Mm-hmm.
if I'm truly listening to my coach, I need to follow through and do that.
And what happens if you don't follow through with what your coach is telling you?
Yeah. Well, it's on me, right? Then it's me wasting money at that point. In
Mm.
most cases, the coach isn't going to spank you or you're right. You're right. Is not going to like disown you or even fire you in most cases. Some cases they might if you're not following their plan. But a good coach is going to look at you and kind of understand why you hesitated or why I didn't, and try to follow through to coach me through that to a better solution or a better plan
Mm-hmm.
in most cases. But ultimately, and I even tell my clients this, like it's like I may want success for them. However, ultimately it's up to them to do it. And so that's the same for me. If I'm working with a coach and they give me a plan, it's up to me to execute that plan. If I don't, it's on me.
Yeah, so there is no magic formula or magic pill for when you work with a coach. Yeah.
Like, it'd be
It's
nice, right? But it's like they can't guarantee your success.
Yep, but it's definitely more guaranteed if you take the action that you agree on taking. Yes, because the coach doesn't come and tell you this is what you have to do and now go and do it. It's creating a plan together
Yes. Hmm.
and then you saying yes to that plan and then acting on it.
Absolutely. That's important, right? To have that collaboration of you're in agreement versus someone just giving you a cookie cutter plan that they got from Chat GPT or something. No, you want someone to have a conversation with you and give you a strategic plan um, that's based on your goals and the time you have available too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I know you coach people as well, correct,
Yeah. Hmm.
Michael? And when you coach people and they come to you and they don't follow through, what is your approach on that?
Yeah. So I just want to listen to find, okay, so hey, we last time we talked about you doing XYZ, right? You putting together that proposal. What do you feel stopped you from doing the proposal?
Mm-hmm.
It might be some excuses, this happened, that happened, type of thing. All right. So we may listen to some of those. Okay, so what do you think could have what could we have done differently, or you could have done differently to have avoided that? I mean,
Mm.
was it on your calendar? Could you have protected your time if it was on your calendar better, or could you have researched this? Because some people just need to know that they're not going to get yelled at. That hey, okay, it wasn't perfect, we didn't accomplish it. Okay, let's figure out what we could do to move forward
Mm-hmm.
with a better plan
Yes.
for them.
Yeah, and for those that are listening, it's truly to know that when you seek out support, yes, which is very important, I would say, for
Hmm.
your success, to know that you're gonna be held in a safe, sacred space. That is not like you're working with your parent or with a teacher from school.
Yeah.
For those that never worked with a coach, I just wanted to give them also a little bit of a taste and understanding on that, because you like for those that are interested and resonated with what Michael have shared with us today, like he offers multiple different services, including like working with corporations. Yes, you
Yes.
offer also one-on-one coaching, no?
Yes, I do one-on-one coaching. I do two different types of one-on-one coaching. One is more to like high achievers who are looking to truly become more productive, break free
Mm-hmm.
from that hesitation, those things that are holding them back. I do a coaching for them. And then I still have some clients of mine who need help on the tech side of things, because since that's my background, I will coach
Yeah.
people through that. Because sometimes their hesitation lies with using a certain software or technology or something like that. And so I can coach them through
Mm-hmm.
that as well.
Amazing. Wow, this has been so beautiful, Michael. Are there any final words you want to leave people with?
I just want to leave your audience with I encourage you to get the book. And you can go to doerswintheday.com and you can download a free chapter if you just want to get started, just to kind of see if you like my writing style. But I think everyone I know who's read the book has enjoyed it. They love the steps. And there's also like each chapter I have what I call doer steps. And so
Mm-hmm.
those are your action steps that you can take in it. Very easy to read. So it's not that many pages, a little over 100
Mm-hmm.
pages, but I think you'll definitely enjoy it.
Yes, and it's going to help you with your productivity, as you have
Yeah.
heard during this podcast. And I will add all of the links in the show notes. Make sure you connect with Michael. Send us a DM and let us know how you've enjoyed this podcast episode. And thank you so much, Michael, for coming on and sharing your beautiful wisdom with all of us.
Always great to connect with you, my friend. So great to see you.
Good to see you too. And thank you to everyone who has listened. And I will see you next in the future episode.
Thanks for tuning in to Spiritual Changemakers podcast. To stay connected and help us reach more people like you, please subscribe, follow, and leave a comment. Join our community of spiritual changemakers on social media to connect with like-minded individuals and continue the conversation. Remember, the power to create positive change is within you. Keep showing up as your best self, and let's keep the magic of change alive. Until next time.